My dear students, in the last class we have seen the governor of the state, his appointment, his powers and functions. In this class, we are going to see about chief minister of a state. Actually, governor is the head of the state, while the chief minister is the head of the government. We will see about the appointment of chief minister. The chief minister is appointed by the governor of the state. The term chief minister is not fixed. He may remain as the chief minister as long as he enjoys the support of the majority of the members of the legislative assembly. He has to resign when he loses confidence of the majority in the assembly. It is understood that normally he completes 5 years term like other members in the legislative assembly. Next we will see the powers and functions of the chief minister. His powers are relating to council of ministers. First point, the chief minister recommends the persons who can be appointed as ministers by the governor. He allocates the portfolios among the ministers. He shuffles and reshuffles his ministry. He presides over the meetings of the Council of Ministers and influences its decisions. He guides, directs, controls and coordinates the activities of all ministers. Next, his powers and functions relating to governor. He advises the governor in relation to the appointment of the following officials. First one, Advocate General of the State, State Election Commissioner, Chairman and members of the State Public Service Commission, Chairman and members of the State Planning Commission, Chairman and members of the State Finance Commission. Next, his powers and functions relating to state legislature. The chief minister advises the governor with regard to the summoning and proroguing the sessions of the state legislature. Second point, he announces the government policies on the floor of the house. He can introduce the bills in the legislative assembly. Next, he can recommend for the dissolution of the legislative assembly of the governor any time. Council of Ministers. The Council of Ministers are collectively responsible to the state legislature. All the members of the Council of Ministers must be the members of the state legislature. Those who are not the members at the time of their appointment must secure their seats in the legislature within a period of 6 months. If a no confidence motion is passed by the legislative assembly, the state ministry shall resign. Article 163 provides for a council of ministers to aid and advise the governor. According to Article 163 of 1, there shall be a council of ministers with the chief minister at the head to aid and advise the governor in the exercise of his functions, except in so far as he is by or under his constitution required to exercise his functions or any of them in his discretion. The functions and powers of the Council of Ministers. First point, it formulates and decides the policies of the state and implements them effectively. It decides the legislative programs of the Legislative Assembly and sponsors all important bills. It controls the financial policy and decides the tax structure for the public welfare of the state. It makes the important appointments of the heads of departments. It discusses and its efforts on the dispute with other states. It frames the proposal for incurring expenditure out of the state reserves. It decides all the bills, whether ordinary bills or money bills, to be introduced in the Legislative Assembly. Each minister of the Council of Ministers supervises, controls and coordinates the department concerned. Annual financial statement called as the budget is finalized by the Council of Ministers. Next we will come to state legislature. The constitution provides a legislature for every state. Most of the states have only unicameral legislature, that is only one legislative assembly. Some states have bicameral legislature, bi means two, that is a two legislature, that is lower house and upper house. Example, Bihar, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana have bicameral legislatures. The lower house, legislative assembly, represents the people of the state. The upper house, legislative council, represents special interests like teachers, graduates and local governments. First we will see the legislative assembly, lower house. The legislative assembly is a popular house. It is the real center of power in the state. It consists of members directly elected by the people on the basis of adult franchise. The strength of the assembly varies from state to state depending on the population. However, the maximum strength of the assembly must not exceed 500 or its minimum strength not to be below 60. The term of office of the Legislative Assembly is 5 years. It can be dissolved even before the expiry of its term. The size of the Legislative Council cannot be more than 1/3 of the members of the Legislative Assembly of the state, but its size cannot be less than 40. Composition. The Legislative Assembly of Tamil Nadu consists of 235 members, out of which 234 members are directly elected by the people from the constituencies on the basis of adult franchise, and one member is nominated by the governor from the Anglo-Indian community. Cabinet and cabinet committees. A smaller body called cabinet is the nucleus of the Council of Ministers. It consists of only the cabinet ministers. It is the real center of authority in the state government. The cabinet works through various committees called cabinet committees. They are of two types, standing and ad hoc. The former are of the permanent nature while the latter are of temporary nature. Speaker. The Legislative Assembly elects two of its members as the Speaker and Deputy Speaker. The Speaker may be removed from office by a resolution of the Assembly after giving a 14 days notice. Such a resolution must be passed by the majority of the members present at the time of voting. The Speaker does not vacate his office when the Assembly is dissolved. He continues to be the Speaker until the first sitting of the new Assembly. When the office of the Speaker is vacant, the Deputy Speaker performs his functions. Judiciary of the State. High Court. The institution of High Court originated in India in 1862 when the High Courts were set up at Calcutta, Bombay and Madras. In the course of time, each province in British India came to have its own High Court. After 1950, a High Court existing in a province became the High Court for the corresponding state. The High Courts are the highest courts at the state level. The Constitution of India provides for a High Court for each state, but the 7th Amendment Act of 1956 authorized the Parliament to establish a common High Court for 2 or more states or for 2 or more states and Union Territory. For example, the states of Punjab and Haryana and Union Territory of Chandigarh have a common High Court situated at Chhattisgarh. The High Court of Guwahati is common for 4 northeastern states of Assam, Nagaland, Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh. The High Court of Guwahati has its benches in Itanagar. Kohima and Aizawl, Delhi, though not a state, has its own separate High Court. Every High Court has a Chief Justice and a member of judges. The number of judges varies from the state to state. The number of judges of each High Court as determined by the President. At present there are 25 High Courts for 28 states and 9 Union Territories. Next we will move on to the topic jurisdiction and powers of High Court. First heading, original jurisdiction. In their judicial capacity, the High Courts of the Presidency towns like Bombay, Calcutta and Madras have both original and appellate jurisdictions, while other High Courts have mostly appellate jurisdictions. Next, appellate jurisdiction. As courts of appeal, all High Courts enter appeals in civil and criminal cases from their subordinate courts as well as on their own. This question is important in 2 marks. Next one, writ jurisdiction. Under Article 226 of the Constitution, the High Courts are given powers of issuing writs not only for the enforcement of the fundamental rights but also for other purposes. In exercise of this power, a court may issue the same type of writs, orders or directions which the Supreme Court is empowered to issue under Article 32. Subsidiary jurisdiction. High Court has the power of superintendence over all courts and tribunal functioning in its territorial jurisdiction. It may call for returns from them, make and issue general rules and prescribe forms of regulating the practice and proceedings of them, prescribe forms in which books, entries and accounts are to be kept by them, and settle the fees payable to the sheriff, clerks, officers and legal practitioners of them. Court of Record. All the decisions and decrees issued by the High Court are printed and are kept as a record for future references by the court as well as by the lawyers if such a need arise. Thus, it also acts as a court of record. Okay, students, study all the book back questions very well. Thank you.